Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Dr. Ryan Lowery, for those of you who don't know. A little bit about myself and background. We've been doing research on ketosis, the ketogenic diet, and ketones for over a decade. And so we started looking at a ketogenic diet and saw all of these incredible benefits. And soon we started realizing it was ketones, BHB, that was driving a lot of the benefits of the ketogenic diet. And so together, as a team with Prove It, we brought ketones to the market, which is absolutely amazing. And I couldn't be more excited. Without further ado, I want to talk quickly about some of the benefits of ketones and what separates Prove It from other ketones that are out there. Well, first and foremost, we know that as we get older, our brain isn't able to utilize glucose and carbohydrates as well. And after the age of 30, the older we get and the worse our diet is, the more resistant our brain is to glucose and carbohydrates. It's almost as if our brain is starving for energy, but we just need to provide it the right source of fuel. And that fuel that it still can utilize is ketones. And so studies show that as we get older, our brain is able to still utilize ketones when it's not able to utilize carbohydrates and glucose as well. So that's first and foremost, is that ketones are a superior fuel source to carbohydrates and glucose. The second thing I want to touch on is hunger or satiety. We all live in a state now where we have food available to us all the time, right? We have friends, family members, or even ourselves who are hungry all the time, and you want to snack and you want to eat, and that drives obesity, that drives complications. We'd love to live in a world where we aren't as hungry all the time, or we are in control of our appetite. Ketones give us that control. And studies show that ketones suppress our appetite. They decrease hunger. They decrease cravings, particularly sugar cravings. Because of the way they're acting inside of our brain, they're blunting our hunger. So people tend to eat less, which overall is going to improve our health and our longevity. The third one I want to talk about is one that's really interesting, and we will be talking a lot about this more so, is that ketones are signaling molecules, right? Imagine a light switch that you turn on and off. Well, as we get older, the genes inside of our body, our DNA, the light switch starts to get turned off over time. Ketones are not just a fuel source. They are signaling molecules that help keep the light switch on. And study after study shows that ketones are acting as signaling molecules that not only can help with longevity and lifespan by keeping the light switch on, but also have other signaling cascades far beyond what most people recognize, right? And so those are just three mechanisms by which ketones work, and there's so many more, and you're going to be hearing from a lot of other people talking about different benefits of ketones. But again, just looking at the increased brain and energy and cognitive function that ketones can provide us, that can apply to 99% of people. On top of that, who would love to suppress their hunger or lower their hunger and decrease cravings? All of us. And then on top of that, if that wasn't enough, one of the reasons that we look at ketones as a technology versus a supplement is because the signaling capabilities, the other aspects that ketones have are just absolutely amazing and profound. Now, the last thing I want to touch on is what makes Prove It different from other ketones that are out there, because there are other ketones that are out there. Well, one thing to note is our body, when we're on a ketogenic diet, makes one form of ketones, and that is the D form of beta-hydroxybutyrate. It is the form that our body naturally makes when it's in a ketogenic state. And if you guys that are watching this could do me a favor, hold out your hands in front of you, right? If you hold up your hands in front of you, they are mirror images of one another, right? But if you try and put it over each other, it's not identical. The same thing happens with ketones. Other companies that are out there are giving a mixture. They're giving both the D form and what we call the L form. It's called a mixed isomer. But our bodies naturally produce only the D form. Prove It is the only company who's using 100% of not only the D form, a naturally fermented process of the D form. It is a naturally fermented ketone. We are the only ones who have a naturally fermented process. And 2, we are the only ones using the active isomer. And if that wasn't enough, our formulations are specific. We include other things inside of them to help support ketones and their action. So I promise you guys this, Prove It and our ketone technology, we're not stopping here. This is the best there is now. We're already looking decades into the future to figure out how we can continue to innovate, how we can continue to make this better, and I couldn't be more excited. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Welcome to the Prove It family. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.